In this lecture, we'll be exploring image cropping and image sizes. WordPress makes it easy to crop images without having to download or use any external third-party libraries. If we take a look at our posts on the home page, you'll see our images fitting nice and tight. However, just like BuddyPress, the images may be bigger than they should be. Inspect the element and check the sizes of the images. Inside this little preview box, you'll see the size that's on the page and the natural size of the image. We want the natural size and size on the page to be as close as they can be to save on bandwidth. To do this, we have to register the image size we desire. In the resource section of this lecture, I provide a link to a function called Add Image Size. This function allows you to add a custom image size that WordPress will use whenever a new image is uploaded. By default, WordPress has some built-in image sizes such as the thumbnail size, which is a size we've used before. Inside the setup function, we're going to call this function. I'm going to add this code right after the theme support functions. Let's call this function now, and the first parameter is the name of this size. Any name will do. I'm going to set this to ju-post-image. The second and third parameters are the width and height respectively. These are values you'll have to test out through trial and error. The sizes I like are 860 by 575. The last parameter is whether we want a soft crop or a hard crop. If you're unfamiliar with soft or hard cropping, then check out the link I have in the resource section of this lecture. This is a very long article that goes over image cropping in WordPress. It's definitely worth reading, but I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what you need to know. If you scroll down a bit, you'll come across these two images from the author. These two images are full-sized and not cropped at all. By default, WordPress will set the fourth parameter to false, meaning that images are soft cropped. If you scroll down further, you'll come across the images resized. As you can see, the images are not exactly the desired size the author wanted them to be. The size the author put down is 200 by 200, so technically these images should be squares, but they're not. This is what WordPress calls soft cropping. WordPress will resize an image to the dimensions you specify. However, if the ratio of the images cannot be kept intact, it'll then resize the image to as close as to the dimensions you inputted without having to crop any piece of the image or distorting it. The next type of cropping is hard cropping. Hard cropping will resize an image to the exact dimensions you inputted. However, if an image begins to look distorted, it'll crop the image to prevent any distortion. So you're only getting a piece of that image. If you scroll down, you'll see how that's done. You just pass in true and WordPress will crop the image from the center. If you're not looking for centering position, you can configure the fourth parameter as an array and specify where you'd like the cropping to begin. If you scroll down the examples, you'll see the many ways images can be hard cropped. So that's basically this article in a nutshell. After this lecture is over, I highly encourage you to give it a good read. Alright, so I'm going to set my fourth parameter to false as I want soft cropping. I prefer my whole image viewable without any cropping. The size may be off than what I desired, but I'm fine with that. Usually, the size difference is only by a few pixels. I'd rather have an image off by a few pixels than have an image off by 100 or even 1,000 pixels. Now that our image size is registered, we can begin to use it in our own theme. Open the content-excerpt template part file. Look for where we outputted the featured image. Previously, we set this to full. I'm going to replace this with our custom image size and set this to ju-post-image. Refresh the home page and expect the element. The size may or may not be exactly the sizes we specified, but it's pretty close. I'm going to open the single template file and do the same since the width of the post is the same as the home page. Look for where we outputted the thumbnail and use the custom size. Having your own image size is great, but this will not always work. Some users who install our theme may be installing it on an existing WordPress site. If they have existing images, they may not all be resized. Only new images are resized and some old ones. In this case, we have to force all images to be resized to prevent any problems. Luckily, there's a plugin that does this. Go to the admin dashboard and navigate to Plugins Add New. Then, I want you to look for the plugin Regenerate Thumbnails. Install and activate this plugin. After installing this plugin, go to Tools, Regen Thumbnails. The plugin will go through all the images uploaded through WordPress and resize them all for you using the default settings and your own custom sizes. If a plugin also registers a size, it'll also resize the images according to that size. All you have to do is click this button. This may take a while, especially if you have a lot of images. Just be patient. After all the images have been resized, we are assured that our image size has been applied to all images on the site. This is a plugin we are going to recommend to the user when they install our theme. We'll be going over how to bundle all the plugins we installed so far with our theme in a future lecture.